Woolly mammoths, again, in celebration of the release of the trailer of Prehistoric Planet Ice Age. Let's do another Tetsu Towers collection video on woolly mammoths. Now, for interesting reasons, a whole bunch of companies that make woolly mammoth figures have also produced baby woolly mammoth figures. There's quite a few of them. I reckon there's about 12. I've just randomly gone and selected various of them off the shelves here, and I've got 4 in front of me that I'm going to talk about. Before we start looking at them, let's have a little tiny look at some of the science relating to baby woolly mammoths. We actually have at this point a number, I think it's somewhere like about 5 or 6 baby woolly mammoths that have been preserved in Siberian permafrost. This is the most famous of them. So this is a photo from Adrian Lister and Paul Barnes' book, Mammoths, Giants of the Ice Age, and it shows Dima, a baby woolly mammoth discovered in Siberian permafrost in 1975. Dima was around about 12 to 13 months old when he died, and sadly he drowned. We know this because his stomach contents include mud and water, in addition to some milk. He was probably at the start of weaning. He was starting to eat plant material. And he shows kind of what you'd expect for a baby woolly mammoth. His head dome and his shoulder hump are not nearly as tall as they are in adults, and his proportions are different, as you'd expect for a baby elephant. Mammoths are a group of elephants. They're not like a separate group of animals. They are a set of elephants. So based on specimens like Dima, we should basically get the look of baby woolly mammoths right if we make models of them, figures of them, right? Well, let's have a look at some of these figures and see how they've done. We'll start with this Schleicher 2004 one. And this individual, you can see it's got small tusks, so it's kind of like post-weaning. It must be older than Dima, and it's not a bad figure. I think it's kind of like a bit too chunky, a bit too squat for a juvenile mammoth, but it's probably okay overall. It's quite short-legged, and compare that with this radically long-legged one produced by Bullyland. It's pretty new. Frustratingly, it's almost impossible to find a date for it. I reckon it's from between 2020 and 2022. It doesn't say the date on its body. It doesn't say the date on the label. None of the places that sell it online say what date it's from. And radically long-legged. Now, presumably it's about Dima age, so it should be long-legged-ish, but maybe not as long-legged as this. There's quite a lot of nice detail here. The shaggy hair on the top of the head, the creases on the trunk, the overall texture of the body, that's all good. But I think the ears are way too large, and they're also the wrong shape for woolly mammoth ears. Woolly mammoths, we know from permafrost individuals, are sort of shaped like human ears and proportionally much smaller than the ears of this figure. And the major anatomical flaw that this figure has got is, if you look at the back legs, they've given it hocks. That is ankles that are way up off the ground. Now, having ankles that are way up off the ground is actually typical for mammals. If you think of animals like cats and dogs, you know, the ankle's way away from ground level, but elephants and other proboscideans aren't like that. They have ankles that are way down close to the ground. And this is a mistake that people have often made in toys, models, and images of all kinds of elephants. So it's kind of weird to see it in a figure as good as this one, but there you go, it exists. Next up, we have this much smaller and really interestingly proportioned figure made by Collector in 2009. Again, it must be a bit older than Dima, given that it's got little tusks. It's not bad. I don't think it's that different in proportions from like a living juvenile African elephant. It might be that the shoulder hump is maybe a bit too big for a baby of this age, but quite a nice figure. And finally, for now, this Mojo figure from 2010. Which, again, it's not bad. I again think that the dome on the head and the shoulder hump are probably too big for a juvenile that must be about Dima's age, must be about a year old. And again, this has got that anatomical big no-no. It's got hocks. It's got ankles way up off the ground. Again, how could you make that mistake? There are many other woolly mammoths. I want to look at a few others in the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.